If you asked me to name my Mama Aline's favorite craft, I would tell you without hesitation, it's Aline's bread dough. You know, it's that gooey mess of a slice of bread and a tablespoon of her legendary tacky glue. And it wasn't just a recipe, it was her magic for generations of crafters. Mama never shied away from the mess. She'd dive in, turning sticky chaos into beautiful roses. Tiny works of art for jewelry, frames, or just to make you smile. The last time we crafted together on a TV set, I surprised her. I gave her a cup, a slice of bread, and a spoonful of tacky glue. And she just laughed, and she reached right in, and she took that gooey mess and formed it into bread dough. And she shaped those roses just like only she could. Even though we were in front of a live audience, in that moment, it was just us creating a memory. I am so delighted to have this tattered photo to remind me of that special moment. Pick up some Aline's tacky glue and make your own memories. Craft a rose, share a laugh, and hold your loved ones close. On this Mother's Day, on behalf of the Aline's family, I wish you a lifetime of creative memories, just like those my mama gave to me and her fan, who have loved her for over 75 years.
Something new, something fresh, yeah, I'm super obsessed. Let me know when you done messing. A little that, a little this, then you put it to the test. It's all in the expression. It's a mood, it's a vibe, it's a state of mind. And now I want it more. It's a mood, it's a vibe, it's a state of mind. Okay, you got the floor, it's looking good. I kinda like that.
Boom da doo, ba doo 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 day. Your life could be a dream if I can take you up to paradise above. If you would tell me I'm the only one that you love, life could.
Are we live?
Yeah,
Here-
try to get rid of this one.
Here we
There we
go. Jules, I'm going to unmute you. Let's make sure Jules gets unmuted. Hey, everybody. I'm Tiffany Windsor from Cool2Craft.
She has to unmute herself because she muted.
Unmuted.
Okay.
There you go. And joining me tonight is
Who?
We
Oh,
have-
me. It's me.
So who are you?
Well, I was just boogieing down to your music with the spray can thing going on. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute.
Can you
Hello.
believe that I found those 57 years later?
So
amazing.
cute.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
just a quick note. Anne was originally going to be on the road this week.
Yes.
So she's magically appearing tonight, and we have the perfect trifecta. I have my most amazing, wonderful girlfriends that I have known forever. And here we are.
Here we are. Thank you. I mean, I'm so happy to be with both of you. I think it's, you
Oh.
know,
Yeah.
2 times the fun, 3 times the fun.
It's always a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did
We're known for putting the F in fun, if you know what I mean.
And Jules outdid both of us. She's got this amazing
I know.
bow.
Yeah, I just did this.
Yeah. No, seriously, I'm taking it up a notch though, because this needs to be like
There you go.
beaded. Oh, I didn't even know it would sit like that. That's even better. Now I'm like a play. What am I? A Playboy bunny?
Oh,
No, I'm not.
No, you're not.
No,
If it
No.
looked both
sorry,
ways.
No,
no.
you're not.
We talked about that.
Sorry, it's not after midnight.
So going into what I call our housekeeping, there's just a few things we like to talk about before we get into our crafting. The first thing is whatnot. And we actually have something a little bit different tonight, because typically Anne and I, after the Cool2Craft pajama party, we head on over to whatnot, and we have a lot of great auction items. Because Anne wasn't going to be here, I said, hey, Jules, do you want to launch your channel tonight?
Woo!
So, yeah. So what we're going to do is get everybody over to our channel. Even though I don't have an auction, we do have some items for sale at whatnot that are buy now. But then we're going to raid Juliana's show. So we're going to show her the love tonight. So the links are in the chat for going to the Faith-Filled Creatives, which is Cool2Craft, to go to our whatnot. But then we're going to go and raid Jules' show. So wanted to let everybody know that. And so Jules is putting, if you have not signed up for whatnot, use that link, because then you get a $15 discount buying from her shop. So if it's amazing.
It is, right?
Yeah. So Jules, what are you selling tonight in your shop?
Yeah. Okay. Wait. I gotta watch the. I was trying to see if there were anything on the whatchamacallit on the feed. But the feed is
The comments?
yeah, the feed's a little slower than right here. So I'm on the Whatnot channel. What I did was I gathered about 20 items that are mostly a combination of jewelry pieces, right? So like beads, findings, extra bits that were in, like, say, a Creative Soul kit. And and so it's a
Did you
plethora.
see that Mary is saying she's already put in pre-bids?
Pre-bid.
Oh no.
Those are
Do you,
awesome.
do you see the chat, Jules?
Well, okay, so if I gotta come back
right,
over to I gotta
upper
come back to
right-hand
the YouTube
corner, there's comments. So yeah,
I don't get
Anne and I learned this last week. It's like somebody said, "Oh, we pre-bid," and it's like, "What? You did what?"
You didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
Oh,
very
that's
cool.
so funny.
For those of you who don't know, it's a great site where you can buy all sorts of things, including craft supplies. And so Anne is clearing out her basement, basically.
Yeah.
And she has craft supplies. And then we also sell on our shop ready-made samples that we have piled up in our studios. But just a reminder that you're going to come to us like normal at 10:15 Central after the pajama party. And then we're going to raid Jules' show. So we all get directed over to Jules and share the love with her. So we're not going to let you get away, is what I'm saying. You're going with us.
Thank you, Christine.
Aw, so cute. I love that. Thank you so much. That's really so sweet.
And
And
it
such
is-
yeah.
And
A
I'm
raid
gonna-
is like once you're on our channel,
Yeah.
you all appear on Jules's.
Right.
Cool.
And
Good.
yeah,
Good.
it's the coolest feature. So
Yeah.
it should work tonight because we've done it before. I just have to go find Juliana's show and say, do you want to raid? And yes, we do, because
Love it.
we're going to go see what she's doing. I am going to help Jules co-host tonight
Yeah.
because there's a lot to do kind of behind the scenes. I'm going to stay off camera so she can focus, but my voice will be there and my love and support will be there for Jules.
Aw, thank
So-
you.
All right. So the other thing we always talk about before we get into the show is the giveaway winner. So last week we showed the giveaway.
Okay, so we were doing it's a digital download of the bookmarks that I did last week, which these were some of them. So if you do them on toner, you can use foil, and there's 8 different bookmarks. And
So remind me, is that this week? Is that this week's giveaway or is that last week's giveaway?
this is for last week, but
Okay.
it's also
Just
going to
wanna
be
keep
for
it
this
straight.
week too, because I was
Got it.
going to be gone. So
Got
I did
it, 'cause
you
I
know,
thought-
to make sure you guys get right away.
Okay. I was thinking I may have done something wrong. So
No.
2 weeks we're going to do that.
Yep.
All right. So I put names into the randomizer. I did go into the Cool2Craft group community before we went live tonight and put names into the randomizer. Would love to see more participation in our group
Yes.
because I want everybody to have the opportunity to win. And what a great giveaway this is. So a round of applause and drum roll. The giveaway winner is Edith Murphy. And I don't, is Edith here tonight?
I haven't seen her. I haven't seen her name.
Okay, so here's what she wrote, because what I ask is that our community posts in the post that I put for the giveaway, what did you like best about the show? So she wrote, I love everything about this crafting community and group. I used to watch the best crafter ever back in the 80s, and her name is Aline Jackson. I watched and recorded all her shows, and I miss her so much. I assume she knows that's my mom. I don't know. So, what we're going to do is you go. Can you put in the link for the group, Anne, or you want me to grab it?
Nope, I'll grab it.
So go and join our group. I get the emails. I get you in right away, and then you can see posts that I put during the week and encouragement and so that you can enter into the giveaway. But you have to be a member of our community. So there you go. The other thing, Anne, do you want to talk about In the Spotlight, which is inviting our audience in to join with us?
So for anybody who's here, if you have something you'd like to share tonight, I will put a link in here and you can click on that link and you'll be in the green room, and we'll bring you on in between anything we're doing. You'll have a minute to share what you're creating. I know Eileen's here, so Eileen could come on. I know Lenine has done it and Laura Lee's done it in the past. So anybody who would like to, we want to see what you're creating, because this is community and that's what it's all about.
This is all about the community. We want you to participate and share what you're crafting. I want to know what everybody's working on. We're working to establish ourselves as the source for what's going on in the craft community. So if you don't share, how do we know?
Yeah.
Right? So I see Jules is encouraging Rosalinda to share. So
Yeah.
we will see you. You may have just said that. I'm so sorry. I may not have been listening. You may have said this, Anne, that we'll see you in the green room.
Yep.
So when we have an opening in our show, because Anne's going to do a little something, I'm going to do a little something, and then it's going to be the Juliana show.
It is.
So we'll watch and we'll make sure that we see when you come in so you can share. If there's a lot of you, we will limit you to 1 minute because we only have a small amount of time tonight to get through everything. in the hour. It goes by so fast. So
Yeah.
that's pretty awesome. So where are we? Oh, goodness. We're great on time. So, so anything else you want to talk about, Anne, before you do? I said to Jules earlier, what is that called? That show and something? Show and tell? So,
Yeah.
so I said, I have show and tell tonight. And then Ad said, I have show and tell. And so it's been a long time since I've done show and tell.
Since I wasn't going to be here, I still wanted to bring something to show and tell.
Right.
So the giveaway for next week is also these digital bookmarks. And last week, if you saw the show, you saw that I foiled them. And I did the front and the back.
I have one of those.
Well, some people don't have toner printers or laser printers. So you can actually print this out on a regular printer and use printed cardstock. And these make beautiful bookmarks. So you can do it just in black. I actually used my toner printer so I could still foil this if I wanted to, and it'd be on the printed.
Oh, wow.
But I wanted to show you that you could do that. And I mean, I just used all different backgrounds. And I even used, okay, so like, I'm sure some of you have cardstock that you bought. Like let's say you bought a big pack because there was one particular print in there you wanted. And then there's all these ugly ones. There are. So I took like this piece of paper.
Ooh.
I actually painted over and I added glitter. You can see the glitter. So with this, I even took this and I did some of the bookmarks.
Oh my heck.
You know, so
Ooh, that's gorgeous.
So many things you can do with them. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to foil it. It's just that's one of my favorite things to do. So I do it way too much, I'm sure. But, you know, take some of that old cardstock and just get out your paints that you know you never use, or you know you have little dabs of. Otherwise, just take plain cardstock. And these, I think these are just as pretty. Well, maybe not as pretty as the glitter, but this would be great for a boy because there is no glitter, right?
That's really nice.
So yeah, that's what I was sharing. I thought, you know, you can still use them. You don't have to have the toner printer and all the things. So.
And
nice.
So a reminder, do you want to share your Etsy link?
Yes.
I don't think I have it in the notes, but you can grab it so that everyone knows that they can go and purchase your digital downloads, because in addition to the designs that you're showing tonight, you have others available?
Yep, I do.
Okay.
So there you go.
So I think she's sharing that. The other thing, as I see you post, it reminds me that we have audience members who come in from Facebook, and sometimes we'll broadcast other places, and the Cool2Craft YouTube. And so we try and keep up with all your questions and make sure that all of our links get out. But if you don't see it, put it back in, because we have to change to all to be able to post to where all of you are joining us. So just a reminder.
I'm on all right now, but for some reason, everything I posted tonight won't post Facebook. So Facebook is having issues.
Facebook always does that to us, and we want to love Facebook, but sometimes Facebook is a challenge.
The last couple months where they've had little issues. So
we have not had any problem with the Cool2Craft on YouTube. That seems to be seamless. So just a reminder of that. And when you are over at Cool2Craft on YouTube, be sure you subscribe. Yes. And so you can get updates. And the live shows are under the live tab. And so we want to connect with you there. So it's my turn.
Before Tiffany shares, Christine is here and she's going to share. So I'm going to bring Christine in.
Yay. Awesome.
There you go. Hi.
Good to see you again.
Hi, Christine.
Hi. I'm still learning to do certain things. And I keep hearing about making this rice paper, right?
Oh, yes.
And I don't have stuff like wax paper and stuff like that, but I do have bags of cereal.
Yeah, works perfect.
It works perfect.
Yes, it
Now,
does.
I tried it 3 times.
Okay, I'm
The
gonna
first time it wasn't
make
really
you full screen.
okay.
There we go.
It didn't really come out all the way because I can still feel some of the napkin here and there.
But it is kind of translucent, so that's good.
Yeah. But the second and third time it came out,
Ooh.
right? All nice
Yeah.
and crunchy.
Oh my
Yep.
goodness.
And the third one I used, I'm starting another journal.
Ooh.
Oh, that's beautiful, Christine.
That's
Thank
really
you.
beautiful.
And I just folded the edges inside.
Nice.
Yeah.
That works perfect.
So,
the rice
gorgeous.
paper is so much fun to play with.
I've been crunching this thing up like crazy.
Right. And see, you were very innovative by using the cereal bag, because
Yeah.
otherwise you could use like shopping bags and,
Right.
you don't have
So-
to have all the things.
Did I miss like how you make that?
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
don't know.
Everybody kept giving different. So I was looking it up, different, measurements.
Mhm.
So I just did half water and half glue, regular school glue,
Yep.
and I did it like that. I brushed it all on the, wax paper. And I
Wow.
put the napkin on, then brushed that all over. And it took about a half hour to dry, and that was about it.
Yeah.
So-
It's
That
such a
is
cool
awesome.
technique. I've been doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Because you can
So
use it for so many things.
I'm trying to
you.
learn as I go along, and I'm enjoying it.
We all are.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're
Yes.
all still learning. I've been in
Yeah.
crafts for over 60 years and I'm still learning. So
You go, girl. Woo!
Always
Yes. Well, I am enjoying myself. You ladies are awesome too. Just
Thank
wanted to let you
thank
know.
you.
You're
Aw.
welcome.
Thank you for
Thanks,
coming on
Chrissy.
with us tonight.
Yeah,
I'm
thanks
going
again.
to keep doing this. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
I'm loving this.
You do
So
that.
cool.
We'll
love
look forward to what you have to share next week.
Yeah.
Ooh, I
Uh-oh.
better get on that.
Thanks, Christine.
You're welcome.
Bye.
That's awesome.
That was gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. And there you go. I learned something new tonight. So
Yeah, very
I
cool.
want to try that. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah. Pretty napkins.
I know. So do you want me to do show and tell?
Yep.
Okay, so there is an image that's actually called screenshot that's, I'm going to add it to the stage here. And there you go. You girls can stay. So I keep talking about bread dough because I've been totally immersed in this for the past couple of weeks because we were doing some designs for Aleen's.com. And so this is a book my mom did. I'm guessing this is probably going into late 70s, early 80s. So it's bread dough. So this is Vintage Legacy Aleen's Projects. So you see that vase that's at the top center?
Mhm.
So I thought, wouldn't it be great if we could recreate that? So my show and tell is my sister came to my studio and she recreated that vase.
Oh my gosh, it's
Wow.
huge.
So this is bread dough. This is Aleen's bread dough. I
Wow.
found this at Goodwill. And so I produced a video and instructions for Aleen's.com. It hasn't posted yet. So you are getting a great sneak peek.
Big.
It's
And
so pretty.
this is made, again, with a slice of bread and a tablespoon of Aleen's tacky glue.
Here,
That's
I'm going to
nice.
make you full screen, Tiff, so you
Yeah.
can get
Okay.
it better.
Can you see that
Oh
better?
my gosh, that's
Isn't
crazy.
that gorgeous?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
gorgeous.
this was $2.99 from Goodwill. And this
And look
was
at that.
recreating what Mama Aleen made back in the day. And so I wanted to share that. But so Heidi, my sister Heidi made that project. And then I thought, well, I'm always into artwork. I always do that. So I did a little test, but my project actually has 9 canvases that, but I did this. So I
Oh,
put these
wow.
petals onto a canvas and you just keep layering them and layering them and wait until you see the collection of the 9 canvases. I'm so happy with the way it turned out. So, but I can't show those to you, but I can show you the sneak peek. And on the 9 canvases, each one has a different technique on it. It's not all floral. So I will let you know next week or in the group, the Cool2Craft group, if it has posted on Aleen's.com. So that's my show and tell for tonight.
Very
love
sweet.
it. That
you.
is awesome.
That's way cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Way cool.
Thank you. Thank you. So, is there anybody in our audience who doesn't know Jules? And if they don't, even if they do, Jules, will you take a moment and talk about your background and how we met? And what a beautiful story it is.
It is precious. It is precious. So let's see, Joshua was born in 91, and we ended up moving to this tiny little town called Lompoc in California. And I mean, at that time, it didn't even have, I think there was one drive-through. And I remember his father and I would go house hunting up there, but I had to make like a crock pot full of food because there really wasn't anywhere to stop and eat. It was so crazy. And so once we got settled in, I had been working for like a big, huge corporate company and left that, had Joshua. And then I was working with an agency and they were like, we have something maybe permanent, maybe part-time, maybe full-time, maybe all these maybes. Just go and look for the paintbrushes on the wall. And I was like, okay. And they said, the company was artists. I'm like, okay, artists and paintbrushes. I don't know. I was not in my creative place at that time. I was into trash. So I worked for Waste Management of North America. So I was like in my, building landfills and I always say I was trashy before I was crafty. But and so I didn't know. I just honestly didn't know. So when I got to Industrial Way in Buellton, California, I found the paintbrushes and I interviewed for a production job where I ended up taking drums of glue and there was no computer system. It was, here's how many gallons are in this drum.
That's how old we are.
Yeah. I mean, it was crazy. And we had to break it. I had to break it down into like, so here's a Michael's order and they want this many 2 ounce, this many 4 ounce, this many 6 ounce bottles of Aleen's tacky glue. So I didn't even really know what Aleen's tacky glue was in the gold bottle. And so anyway, I did a bunch of stuff, what we would refer to as down the street. And I got wind of the up the street people, which was the television crew going from 1 day a week to 5 days a week. And I thought with my PR background, they might need help. And so I wrote Tiffany this precious little letter and it was like, dear Tiffany, you don't know who I am, but I'm Juliana and I work down the street in production. And here's my background and I think you're going to need help.
I don't want to pour glue bottles anymore.
Yeah. I need to come up the street.
And that landed her an interview with me.
And I interviewed, and then I ended up being one of the first associate producers. And I had no intentions of being on air. And then I do believe it was right after the Northridge earthquake that a couple clients couldn't make it to the studio. And I know that some of you were in Las Vegas at a show because you felt it in Vegas. Of course, we felt it. But then there was a whole situation where somebody couldn't come, and I'm pretty sure it was Beverly Fabrics because they were on the other side of the earthquake. And I ended up doing a wreath, and I got hooked, of course. Like I just was like, oh, this is kind of fun. And then Tiffany taught me how to bead. So her mom had a loom and we used to go into the kitchen craft room where all the food was and and she taught us how to bead, and we would have fishing tackle boxes like all over the place, just filled with beads, just tons and tons of beads. And we would make these gorgeous, oh no, oh, here's grandma's bracelet. We would make these gorgeous chunky bracelets.
I'd taken a class at a bead
Yeah.
shop, and I brought it back and it's like, oh, we need to make
Yeah.
these. There's these amazing
Yeah.
loops. We got,
Yeah.
I don't know how many we made of those.
Still have that loom.
Yeah. And so I just said to myself, well, one day I want to have my own loom. And it was about 14 years later that all manifested. And I tried to do it on my own, but that was just presenting to be not something that was going to come together. And then I knew Beadalon had real estate in the mass market, in Michael's and Joanne and in Hobby Lobby and everywhere else, AC Moore at the time. And so yeah, I just, I had spent a lot of time after Aleen's Creative Living navigating my way through this scrapbooking craziness, which it just came out of nowhere. And I just remember thinking, if I don't figure out what this means to people, I'm going to be up a creek without a paddle. Like, I wasn't a scrapbooker, but I knew that it came into our world like, there it is. And so I was like, okay, well, how am I going to fit into this? And that's when I met Jack O'Brien with Artistic Wire. And I was like, oh, I need to teach people how to put wire on their scrapbook pages. And I did. And it became like a whole thing. And so, that was my baby, Artistic Wire. And I traveled all over the country teaching people how to do that. And then the timing came for the loom. It was like in 2012, I think it was, that I started talking to Beadalon. We got the loom together very quickly. Ended up on JTV, Jewelry Television, April of 2013. And then fourth quarter, Michael's had it. And then Hobby Lobby had it. AC Moore had it. And then that was just crazy. And then in 2019, I wanted to have a wood loom. And really the only option was to go to India and have like just a loom. And I was like, no, I want a body. I want it to look like a woman. And so the Weaving Goddess looms were birthed and went on to JTV November 19th of 2019. And we had an excellent show, sold out of those looms. And then I just went crazy. And I was like just having babies left and right. In
You get a looming. You
everybody 21, the jewel loom, where's she at? The big girl, the large Wisdom Warrior came out for chokers and hat bands and, necklaces. And then, yeah, I've birthed a bunch of looms. And then, yes, to your point, it was like Neely got a loom with silver silk because one night I accidentally used his product on a loom. And I was like, oh my God, like he needs his own loom. So I made him a gorgeous loom. I've made Jesse James a loom for their events. Last year, was it now? I made Eileen a loom for her paper crafters. So Eileen has her own loom. So yeah, so I'm quite the baby mama. I need to stop the madness because it takes a village to raise these looms. But it's hard because, like the pocket loom where'd she go? I swore I wasn't going to do another loom, and then the pocket moon loom got birthed last year.
They all have their purpose, though.
They do, though. They're not just for nothing, right? I mean,
Right.
The original jewel loom was birthed out of a real deep desire to help the bead shops. Like that's the truth. Like I was like, boy, these bead shops need help. And if I can show them how to make things on this loom, they're going to sell a ton of beads. And so the original jewel loom had a specific purpose.
And Jules,
Mhm.
while you had that loom up, can you show the book? You showed me earlier today that you have
yeah.
the hardcover and the book.
Yeah. So this was one of the books that Tiffany and I did in probably 19.
I was at Aline's hosting the show from 92 to 99. So it had to be like 90.
In the late 1900s. But look at Tiff and I.
Yep, there we
Here.
are.
There we are.
I'll make you
Yeah.
there. Woo! Look at those young
There's-
girls.
There's those babies.
Is that so funny? Look at that hair.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that
Yeah, because I wanted you to show that because I want to go back to the depth of everything that you have done in your career.
yeah, I mean, it's been
Then you have the hardcover book that actually Anne sells on
Right.
Bella Crafts as a digital download.
Yeah, you can
And-
get it digital or printed. And
You
so
can get
this
print on demand.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
it was a
beautiful.
bestseller
might-
on Amazon with
I might do some
F&W
myself. A beautiful-
Publishing, and then F&W went out of business and Penguin took it over, and then I wanted my rights back. And so about a year ago now, Anne, maybe or so, year and a half ago, I bought my rights back from Penguin and called up Anne and said, can you just do this? Can you just give this a home, please?
So what Jules has done is she's put together a special kit
Yeah.
that you're offering, and I little craft house on the
I love
prairie.
that. Nikki.
So I'm going to add this image because if you didn't
Okay.
see any of Jules' pre-promo, tell us about this, and then Anne, we need to add the link to that.
And we're going to bring Lenine in super quick before Jules does her
Okay.
project, but explain this first, Jules.
Right.
Yeah. So this is called the Ultimate Jewel Loom Starter Kit. So you're going to have everything you need to make your first beaded bracelet. Okay.
And I'm going
So-
to switch to that photo so
Yeah.
they can see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those wood beads don't come with the kit, and your colored pencils don't come with the kit, but you get 6 strands of fire polish, a couple yards of hemp teak hemp cord, a Baltic birch button, your 1G beading thread, a jewel loom, a baby loom, 6 jewel loom needles, and the jewel loom stand. It's ridiculous. It's like a 60 some odd dollar value, and it's in the shop for $37.99. But when you sign up for the newsletter, you get a 15% off code.
Wow.
And 3 free patterns. If for any reason that code doesn't pop up or it doesn't apply, just email me and say, yo, can you fix that? And I'll fix that. But it's crazy. It's a crazy opportunity to, to get into the beading. But yeah, this is the bracelet. And I wanted to add these little boho-y wood buttons. And it's funny because this is from my other old company, Cool2Craft, that I had. And we did a beautiful planogram of wood buttons. And I was like, oh, I got to add those. And I was showing off my other bestie, the AdTech Liberty glue gun. And so, but these don't, the wood beads are extra. That's something that you can go into your stash and add to the project. But I think, oh, you said you wanted to get,
Oh, that's right. Let's bring her in for a minute because I know we want to give you the 20 minutes to demonstrate.
Yeah,
Hey,
no,
Lenine.
Look at here.
I'm going to make
gosh,
you
make her big.
something. Woo!
Oh, yay. Yay.
It's beautiful.
I just had to show you, Jules.
Oh, I
It's
love that.
beautiful.
And you wove your beads in there too. That's
Yeah,
so
see?
gorgeous. Oh my
Oh,
god.
I love it.
I love
This,
it.
this is what it's all about. This is just
This is totally what it's
makes
about.
our hearts sing.
It's just lots of little pieces in there.
Oh,
my
I just love
gosh.
it because
I love
there's
it so
so many
much.
scraps in there.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Yeah.
So what this shows everyone, in addition to just this basic beading that Jules is going to share tonight, you weave these beautiful fibers on these. So
And
Yeah, it's great.
Lenine,
These
those
are all
colors
just scraps.
those colors are Eileen's colors, you know.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
done here.
I know.
Aw, I love that. And so that's one of my wood looms. They're made out of sustainable Baltic birch, and they're made right here in the US, in Missouri, by the most lovely family. Robert and his family make the looms, and his boys are a huge part of it, as his wife Karen is. And they put so much love into these, and they've been putting up with me for since 2018, I guess it is, like, hey, I got an idea. Do you think you can blah, blah, blah? And Robert's just one of those genius minds where he's just like, yeah.
Thank you, Lenine.
Thank you, Lenine. That was awesome.
you.
Welcome. Thank you.
That
Glad
was
to share.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you. Yeah. And so, that's kind of great segue, because, the wood looms are extremely durable, and they're made out of most of them have like a 1/4 of an inch thickness, and they're super, super durable. And the jewel loom is very durable as well. But what you have to really remember is that the jewel loom is made out of a flexible plastic, not bendable. And I will say that until my last breath. And the reason I do say that is because it's really important to remember it's lightweight. It's, very durable, but it's made out of a flexible plastic, meaning you're not going to be able to fold it in half. I don't want you struggling with the metal rod, trying to rip it out of the loom. I always tell the story that many years ago, on a trip to JTV, and I think it was right after JTV, I literally threw like a ton of warped jewel looms into my carry-on that ended up in the belly of the plane. And I was like, oh, I'm done. Right. Like, just thinking some big old suitcase is going to end up on my carry-on with my warped looms. And honest to goodness, they were all perfect and fine. So, it's just important to remember. And I like to stand up when I put the metal rod in. So you're going to put it into that bottom hole that's closest to your belly. And then I just use my belly to pop that rod in. And then I give it a little wiggle to make sure that it's really in there nice and tight. Okay. And after you do that and you warp your loom, this is really super important as well. You want to make sure that the belly of the jewel loom, I refer to this as the belly. It's a little hard, but it's also got, there we go. See the jewel loom stamp in there? So this is the belly, and it's facing up towards the sky, up towards the ceiling. And these are the warps. And I just want to make sure. So if I take my ruler here, and I place it on the belly, and you can see that it's just at about 2 inches, right? So you never want the distance between the belly and the base of the warps to be more than 2 inches. If they are, chances are that you are putting way too much stress on the flexible piece of plastic. So you can always have a little ruler with you. And again, you could just put that right in the middle of the loom and check it out. So, yep, see, let me come up higher. Yep, there we go. That's about 2 inches on the dot there. And that's what you want to see. And that's how you want to warp your loom, so that it's not bending in too much. And don't ever force the metal rod out, by the way. If it won't come out, so like, okay, this one's going to come out fine. But if it didn't just come out, I would turn it. So I would like shift the tension, and then I would pop it out. So don't ever force the rod out. So they're just some like tips that I really want you to get into your brain. It's a flexible plastic, not a bendable. Make sure those warps, the distance is no more than 2 inches. Don't ever struggle to get the rod out. Flip the loom around so that, the tension just kind of, it's weird. It's like, how does that matter? But it does. It's like you're just shifting it, and then you're trying to pull it from the other end, and it comes out. It's one of those interesting science things, I guess. So this is the finished bracelet when you buy the kit, and I'm just going to bring it over here to you really quick. So the beads that come in the kit are called fire polish, and they're from the Czech Republic. They're glass, and these are going to be a size 5 millimeter. Usually I'm working with a 6 millimeter, but I got a screaming deal on these beads. And I like to, if you ask the Jewel Loom community, they'll tell you when I get a screaming deal, I share it. So there's 6 strands. There's 25 beads on each strand. And so I have a 6-inch wrist, and you can see I still had 2 strands left over. So like if you want to make some earrings, you're going to definitely have extra beads to do so. But look at how cute that is. And again, these are just optional. I had them in my personal stash. You don't get the wood beads, but you could add any bead that you wanted to. And then just use your AdTech glue gun that, you know, our bestie, and glue them, the bead onto the extra warps there. And then you can color with a color pencil. You want to be careful with your paints. Just make sure that they're not like super wet, because you don't want the Baltic birch to, you know, disperse, come apart, etc. So I'm just going to bring over my, and I hope this works. Let's see what happens here. I think that's what I want to do. Okay, awesome sauce. All right, so fantastic. So I like to work on a bead mat just to kind of keep my beads in place. We do make wood bead boards. And so, but I just, for demonstration here, I'm going to push this back a little so the shadow is not in there. And I've already worked my loom with the hemp cord. I personally like Hemteak the best. It's sustainable. It's, you know, they've got all the right certifications for it to be clean. And that's really important to me. And they're family owned, and we know them personally, and they're just delicious. So I'm a big fan of the Hemteak hemp cord. So I have my Jewel Loom needle, and I'm using Wildfire. Okay. This is my big old spool. Where we go. My big old spool of beige Wildfire. You could also use Fireline if you choose. So I've been using Wildfire all of these years, and the Bead Along folks were like, how come you never play around with Fireline? I'm like, I don't know. Send me some. So I haven't played around with it yet, but I know Danielle likes it a lot. And so it's got really great reviews too. So I'm going to take the end of my Wildfire, and some people will start the way that I'm starting, and others will not. And honestly, it's not a deal breaker. You know, I always refer to Danielle because she's a Jewel Loom lover. She's on the Creative Soul team, and you know, she doesn't knot at all. And so her way to start is totally different than mine. I'm working with the loom in this up and down position. So this way is closest to my body, and this way is furthest away. And this is my left hand, and this is my right hand. So I like to start right underneath the hole right there, because I want my project to be centered on the loom, because I want equal amounts of warps so that I can add my button and my loop. So I'm going to scooch up a little bit. I'm going to bring the needle under the warps. So my hand and my needle and the thread are literally going under the warps right now. And I'm going to transfer that to my right hand. And then I'm going to pick up 3 of the fire polished beads. Now, if you look at my warps, you'll notice that I've got 4 warp threads. You always want 1 more warp than you do beads. And so we have 4 because I'm using 3 beads. And I have a complete video with the entire setup, you know, the warping and everything available on my YouTube channel. So you can always, if you don't know how to warp your loom, you can go back to that. Now, I want you to pay attention to the dance of my hands. So did you notice that, and I'll do it again, but I take my right hand and I place it on the belly of the Jewel Loom, because the Jewel Loom is very lightweight. Okay, so it's gonna wiggle. It's a piece of plastic. It's, you know, very lightweight. And so I have this kind of rhythm down. So now I let go. I take my needle and thread. I come under the warps. And then once again, I'm going to pick up 3 beads. And I'm going to let those fall all the way down. And then I'm going to come with my pointer on my left hand, and I'm going to help pop those into and in between the warp threads. I take the needle, and the needle's going back through the hole, and it's going over the hemp cord. Now this is a 1 millimeter thick hemp cord. A lot of people like the 1 millimeter. A lot of people like the 0.5. It's thinner. So did you see how I brought that right hand in? It's just, I don't even know I'm doing it. It just happens. And as I'm building this base, one thing I want to point out to you, and I want to get the shot here. You see the little sides here of the wildfire. You want to pull tight enough that they're not loose, but not too tight that you start to distort the figure of your bracelet. And there's nothing worse than seeing like a little ribbon loose on the side there. It's sometimes kind of hard to correct. So just a little tip as you're building your base. So again, needle and thread, left hand under the warps, transfer it over to the right. You could use double-sided painter's tape if you wanted to on the back side of the jewel loom to keep it stable. You could work on, I always forget the name of it. It's the product that you put in the liner that you put in your cupboards. You know, like a non-skid type of product that you could use. Oh, here's another good one. Look at what just happened. So you see how the needle is at an angle right now? So sometimes that'll happen. And I just want you to know you don't need to fuss with it and fight with it to make it straight across right now. Let the beads and the needle glide through in the way that they're kind of telling you that they want to go, because there'll be plenty of opportunity after I pull all this wildfire. And then again, I'm going to help to guide that end. I want to make sure it's just tight enough. And then I come in and I scooch them into place. And the reason I don't force the beads and the needle is that I just don't want to break my needle. I don't want to get frustrated. So just go in at an angle and then get everybody straightened out. So let's bring that up to the camera really quick. So see how that worked out? So again, I just transfer the needle over to my right hand. And I'm going to pick up 3 beads. Once you get your rhythm down, you should be able to make this type of a 1-hole bigger bead bracelet in definitely under an hour. The other thing I want to point out as we're building the base is you want to be careful not to catch your needle onto the hemp cord, because you might need to adjust your beads. And if you have also sewn yourself to your warp threads, that's not going to be a lot of fun. So, you know, the 1 millimeter is pretty thick, but I love the durability that it offers. So I'm a 1 millimeter girl, probably 9 times out of 10. I'm not sure. I know Rosalinda was watching. I don't know if she's still here. I can't see, but I'm not sure if she's a 0.5 or a 1. So I'm also kind of putting, when I take the beads and I put them into their little, you know, alleyways there, right? I'm also taking my pointer finger and I'm helping to push them up towards the ceiling, so that when I do take the needle and go back through the holes, I am helping to, and see how I had to come down a little bit right there, because that entry into that side hole was not going to go in straight. So again, just follow the needle, do what the needle and the beads want to do. And then just push them in, and then just make sure that you pull tight enough so that you don't have any excess wildfire. You see how nice that looks? Nice and clean. All of the wildfire is snug against the hemp cord. So I have a 6-inch wrist. I'll typically make like 5.5-inch long piece because my button and my my loop are going to add about an inch. And it really depends like what kind of closure you're using. If you use the slide connector type of closure, you're going to want to literally build out the length or the what would it be called? Your wrist size. So if your wrist is a 7, your piece is going to be 7 inches long because there's not going to be any leeway on the slide connector. With the button project that we're doing in the loop, you've got some forgiveness. So that's good. And you can mix and match colors and beads and sizes of beads and shapes of beads and types of beads. I mean, there's just so many cool things that you can make. You saw the piece earlier that is really intense and really fluffy and full of tons of beads. That's one of my most favorite things to do. But I love teaching the single hole larger bead because I find that it's an easy way for people to learn.
Jules?
Yeah.
Vicki is asking, could you bead Christmas ornaments on it? And would you have patterns for ornaments on your site?
Yeah, I don't have any pattern ornaments no, I don't. But we've talked about, so there's 2 different terms. There's on loom and off loom. And in the off loom world, a lot of people would talk about like bead work or bead, some of the terminology is the same, but they're doing it by hand. I've definitely seen people make beaded ornaments. And we've talked about it. I just have never done it. But I think you should try.
And share.
I think you should do it and then come back and share it.
And then Mary's asking what the pad is that you have the beads on.
Yeah, so this is just a bead-along mat. We've got wood bead boards that are in the shop at jewelloom.com, but I'm just working on like this fuzzy, this is a bead mat from Bead-A-Lawn. I'm not sure exactly how they sell them, and I think it's in packs. It's not just one piece, but they're not they're not expensive. So yeah, it's just a Bead-A-Lawn bead mat, or you can get a wood bead. A lot of people like the they like that one bead mat. It's I don't know what the name of it is, but it's pretty fancy. Almost looks like a pillow with a ridge. I don't know. If Rosalinda's in here, she could probably tell you what it is. I'm leaning on you, Rosalinda. Are you still here? And so those are pricey, but they're pretty awesome because they're very comfortable. But the wood bead mats have been very popular. There's a jewel loom one. There's a butterfly. There's a shield. There's Marlon Brando's got his own little bead board. It's a little paw. What else do I got? Oh, I got a crown. So there's a couple different shapes. I would say that the jewel loom one has been very, very popular because it's most practical. But yeah. Or you just, get your Bead-A-Lawn mats.
And Jules, it looks like we have about 6 more minutes to wrap up, and I want to make sure that you're getting to all the steps that you want to.
Yeah, I think at this point, what I want to do is I'm just going to bring in the finished bracelet, because again, there's an entire start to finish demo on this on the Jewel Loom channel. But just to speak to, the closures after you get your bracelet done, you can see what I did here was I just did like a knot. I took 2 warps and I knotted them together as close as I could to the base. And then I made a loop, because this was the loop that I knew the size of the loop I would need for, for the sun button. And yeah, it's a very, very simple project. And it's great for beginners.
So cute.
Yeah, it's perfect. I love it. I love it. I love it with the wood beads. It just kind of came out really, really fun. I got to reach out and see if people have submitted photos of what they've made.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
beautiful.
let me come back up.
I want to show, this is the beadboard she was talking about that's on her site.
Oh
This-
yeah. But
At Bellicon, but
Yeah,
I'm not
you
sure.
made that.
And then this is the
Yes.
I was talking about. You can get this.
Yeah.
And Eileen, we do have 5 minutes if you want. She wanted to come on real quick.
Yeah,
Oh, gosh.
absolutely. We can go a little bit over, but I know since we need to get over to whatnot, because I could sit and watch you do that all night, Jules.
I know.
So
I just get mesmerized, and
It is
I
mesmerizing.
know it's
It's like-
relaxing. It's meditative. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. But there is a really great tutorial that, in fact, it might actually, I did add it to the Jewel Loom product page under the Ultimate Starter Kit. So it's also there. But if you, so.
So Lisa, I don't see Eileen's here yet. So stop.
nope, she's not yet.
Make me stop
Putting the link.
Lisa, the brown thing, Jules explained that goes under the Jewel Loom to keep it from slipping. Right?
Yes.
She's asking what the brown thing is that Anne was showing.
Right. So again, the Jewel Loom, the original blue Jewel Loom that's made out of a flexible plastic is like super, super lightweight. It wiggles like its mama. So if you need a little extra support in keeping it still, you could take painter's tape and you can glue its little, not glue, but tape its little bottom to the surface. You can use non-skid.
Yeah, this works perfect.
What is that material? What is it called though? It's for
It's
lining your.
It's the non-stick.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it's called, but you can get it at the $1.25 store.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring Eileen in.
Okay.
Okay.
Ready to go, Eileen, I'm bringing you in.
Okay.
There you go.
Hey guys.
Yes.
Hi. I had to wet my whistle.
So I'm in my crafty disaster area. But
But you
Hi,
got
Mama.
your nice backdrop, so it looks good.
yeah, well, don't look behind it. I'm not gonna show it.
What's
I know.
behind the curtain?
But yeah, it's been a busy day. Jules, thank you. I love seeing that closure because that's where I always have trouble. The closure on the bracelet. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh,
I know.
yeah.
Need to
I
watch
think
some-
that's a great way to close. It's so easy, right? Like,
yeah. Well, you
it's-
make it look easy. Yeah.
It adds such detail.
Yeah.
it does. And the buttons are so much fun. And the way that you can color them in, they're just endless opportunities, right? For different looks. And, but yeah, thanks. I like that.
Well, should I
What's
just
going
show
on?
you what I'm doing here?
Yes.
I'm
absolutely.
gonna make you full screen so you can show us.
Let me see if I can turn this down. No, I don't think I can. Wait a minute. Yeah. Because I have been working.
Oh,
all
gosh.
day. Yeah. Well, this was the video that I did yesterday. I've been watercoloring. So I took some scraps and just took some of my new stamps and did some of the stamps on here. This is called Fan Favorites, made by the fans. It's all ideas that they thought would make a good stamp. And so I made these little journal tags, journal charms, I'm calling them. So that was our video from yesterday. So I just wanted to say if anybody wanted to come and see how to do it, we do projects Tuesdays and Thursdays. So you could be on every day between me and Anne and Tiffany and be 24/7 creating.
So where does our audience find you? Where do they go to watch?
They would go to either YouTube or Facebook or Instagram at Eileen Hull.
Okay.
And that's where I do them Tuesdays at 6 Eastern and Thursdays at 4 Eastern. And if you want any of the supplies like this is a stamp set I used with Sizzix, and we just take different products. This was a project that I did today in the Creative Scrapbooker VIP group, and so we made this Japanese stab binding book, and this is with the hand-bound journal that came out in May.
Wow.
And get that little beaded charm there, Jules.
I'm seeing it, babe. I'm seeing it. I like it.
And
I
those
like
colors
it.
are perfect.
Oh
Yeah,
my
this
gosh.
one, my friend Karen Bierce is moving to Knoxville. And so I made this for her. And I also made her a little journal page.
Aw.
Figured that tomorrow, and I printed out some pictures. So I'm finishing that up. And
Aw.
anyway, that's what I've been up to. So I
Nice.
just pop in and say hi.
Cool.
Thank you.
Can you see the auction? This is another event I have to add to my calendar.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I know. This is awesome to have you here. To have
Well,
all of my creative girlfriends here tonight is so amazing.
It's so good.
Business partners, creative girlfriends, partners in creative crime. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I got to go do my thing.
yes.
sure. So
And
we'll
I
let you go
I
get
get back
signed up.
on it. Let me just make sure I got this right. I'm so nervous.
Okay,
I'm gonna 8:15 is my whatnot show.
right.
and
So
I'm
that's
gonna
in 9 minutes.
15 our time.
So I'm gonna go live on the iPhone, and then I go to the computer, and
Yes.
then when I see you, Tiffany, I add you as a co-host so you can help me.
Yes. So we're
Okay.
gonna make
I'm
this
gonna go
work.
potty. Bye.
Bye.
I love you all.
Love you. Thank you so much
Love you,
for
Jules.
joining.
Thank
I think
you.
you got to get rid of me on your own. I don't know how to do it.
I'll do it.
So I put the links in, as we explained, if you were not here at the top of the show. We thought Anne was going to be out of town this week, so we did not plan an auction. But what we want you to do, since you already know how to come over to Whatnot, come to our show right now in 9 minutes, and we're going to raid Juliana's show. So I take the whole audience that's at our show and we go to Juliana's show. So either you go in on her link, you come to our show, we will get to Jules. And
Yep.
this is our very first show. And I'm very excited for her because she's been wanting to do this for a very long time. So what a show. This has been amazing. Thank you to everyone who's participated in the chat, everyone who has come on. This is not about us. This is about this whole Cool2Craft community. So we invite you to come on with us on air every week. And it's so exciting to see what everyone's doing and to have Eileen here. She is so busy, and it's amazing that she's able to join us. So
We love it.
anything else you want to add? Anne?
No, I put the link in for us for Whatnot, so you can click that and
Yeah. Head over
Well,
there right now,
just
because
a couple
that's
minutes.
where we are going.
Yep.
And
we will
join
see
the
you.
and join the Cool2Craft community so we can keep in touch and you can be part of our giveaway.
Yes.
Okay, love you all. Bless you. Have a
Thank
wonderful
you for
week.
being here.
But I hope I see you in 8 minutes at Whatnot.